Hello, thank you for attending our webinar today. We have a fantastic presentation. It's on Google Penguin, what you need to know. But before we get started, let me tell you a little bit about Point It. Point It was launched in April of 2002. We are Seattle's largest independent search marketing firm, specializing in services such as paid search management, SEO, social, local, and mobile. Last year, we managed over $35 million in media, and we have clients across every vertical and revenue model. Now for a little bit of housekeeping. So if you have to drop off anytime during the presentation, never fear. It's being recorded, and a little bit later this week, we'll follow up with an email that will have a link to an on-demand version of the presentation, as well as a copy of the deck. Also, we encourage everyone that is listening in today to ask questions. At the end, we're going to follow up and answer those questions kind of in the order that they were received, and we truly believe that that's the greatest value of the presentation. So now it's my pleasure to introduce Tyler Tanigawa, who's going to be taking us through a presentation about Google Penguin.
Hi everyone, welcome to our webinar entitled Google Penguin, What You Need to Know, and thanks for joining us. So we'll cover three things in this webinar today. The first thing we'll cover is what exactly is the Penguin update, what are the symptoms and effects of Penguin, what to look for, what metrics to use to identify a hit by Penguin, and examples of what you could see if you were hit. And lastly, what to do if you have been hit and how to avoid a loss from future updates. So let's start off by explaining what a penalty is versus an update. It's important to know if you've been hit by a penalty or an update so that you know what to do to fix the problem. People automatically think that if their site sees a drop in indexation or traffic, then they've been penalized. That isn't always the case. The biggest difference between a Google penalty and an algorithm update is that true penalties are manual action. The Google Web Spam team has singled out a site and placed a penalty on it. Updates, on the other hand, are more blanketed, where Google updates their entire algorithm and every site is open to see a change in their rankings. Penalties also come with warnings found in your Google Webmaster Tools account. And if you have seen a warning, say for unnatural links, it is probable that your site has already been affected. Lastly, with a penalty, you can have correspondence with Google, where Google tells you that you have been targeted, and after cleaning up your site and fixing those errors, you can tell them that you have been taken action and ask for reconsideration. Panda and Penguin are both algorithm updates, meaning that if your site did see a loss in traffic, Google didn't seek you out personally, and you can clean up your site and link profile, but you can't ask Google to manually reconsider your site for reindexation.
It's also important to note that there's a third possibility there, which is, a penalty by association. So if some of the sites that are linking into you were hit by one of those, by Panda or by Penguin or by an algorithm update or a penalty directly to those sites, that can trickle through to your profile. Those links coming to you from sites like that can all of a sudden lose value. So, an update may happen and you may lose rankings, and it really wasn't anything you did other than having some links from sites that got hit.
So what exactly is Penguin? Penguin, as we have mentioned, was an algorithmic update. It was launched on April 24th, 2012, and its focus was not about improving the quality of the SERPs, but instead was aimed at mass punishing sites that have been violating the Google Webmaster guidelines. Spammy and paid links that once passed value that attributed to strong rankings have now been devalued, which caused a drop in visibility and traffic. The most recent update, Penguin 1.1, was on May 25th, and more updates are sure to follow as they find better ways to classify and devalue spammy links. So what are the symptoms and effects of Penguin? How do you know if you've been hit? The first thing to do is check these sources. Look at Google Analytics for organic search traffic. Check Google Webmaster Tools for impression data, as impression shows you how visible your listings are. Check your historical rankings using a rank tracker like Raven Tools or My SEO tool to see if there has been a large drop after the most recent update. and view SEMrush to see a graph of your rankings drop in traffic to see if there's been a large shift.
If you've seen any sort of dip on any of these channels, go ahead and jump over onto SEOmoz or Search Engine Land. They're really up to date on catching these algorithm updates, getting news about it, posting it up online. I know SEOmoz keeps a running tally of every update that Google releases. So, if you think you might have been hit by something, go ahead and check those sites so you have an exact date to work with, and you can go from there.
So it's been reported on average, sites that have been hit by Penguin have seen a 30% drop in traffic, though we've seen as high as 80%. A company recently came to us that has seen a dramatic drop in their traffic, and after evaluation and analysis, we found that they had been hit by Penguin. They tasked us with helping them clean up their link profile in hopes that they could recover from their drop in traffic. Since they're a current client, and I don't want to reveal too much about them, I'm going to use a made-up site as an example. So I'm a big boxing fan, and Muhammad Ali is known as one of the greatest boxers of all time. He was agile for his size and good at not getting hit directly by punches. So SEO is kind of like boxing in that way. You want to stay ahead of punches being thrown and not get hit. So since I'm an Ali fan, let's say that our client site was a Muhammad Ali fan site, and their metrics after April 24th look like the above, where we saw a huge drop in words that they were ranked for in SEMrush. We saw a 40% drop in traffic in the week following the Penguin update in Google Analytics. We saw a huge drop in impressions in Google Webmaster, and rankings were down across the board for words that they were tracking. So now that you know that you have been hit, what do? First off, Google Penguin's newness makes it an issue for solving. The continual updates compound the issue, as they will keep tweaking the algorithm to devalue more types of spammy links. Sites who have not seen a drop in rankings after the update rollout might be next to see a drop in rankings. Here are the steps that we took to help our client site, and the steps that we recommend you taking to solving your Penguin problem. So the first step is to take a look at the type of links that are pointing to your site. Use the following tools to inspect your link profile. Start with SEOmoz's Open Site Explorer. It's good at getting a list of links pointing to your site. You can see thousands of inbound links, and you can even see how many links are coming from each domain. Majestic SEO does the same thing. It gives you a backlink history, which gives you a list of the links pointing to your site. Google Webmaster is another great source to find a list of links pointing to your site, and it also shows you the number of links pointing from one domain. The link categorization spreadsheet can be found online. A few sites have done posts about this spreadsheet with a full tutorial on how to use it, and we'll use this later to see a breakdown of the anchor text used in a link profile.
That link categorization spreadsheet that Tyler's talking about is actually from an SEOmoz blog post on April 9th, 2012 by Mitch Monson, and it's called the Inbound Link Categorization Tool. It was made by SEO Gadget, so if you want to find a copy of that, that's how you do it. So to use the SEOmoz Site Explorer, if you haven't used it yet, it's very, very simple to use. Simply go to opensiteexplorer.org and plug in your URL. It will then generate a list of all the other links pointing to your site. Filter the list by only external links and links going to the domain. And lastly, export the list to CSV. The tool is limited if you don't have SEOmoz Pro account. So Majestic SEO is just as easy. It follows the same format. Go to majesticseo.com and log in. There's a free version and plug in your URL. It will then generate a list of all the other links pointing to your site. Go to the Referring Domains tab and export the list to CSV. So to get a list of the links pointing to your site from Google Webmaster Tools, go to google.com/webmaster. Log into your site's Webmaster account. In the left navigation, go to Traffic and then click on Links to your site. Click on More under Who Links to You Most, and then download the table. And if you don't have Google Webmaster Tools set up, and Bing Webmaster Tools also, for that matter, you should definitely go and get those in place. They're free, and it's one of the few places where search engines will actually give you pretty open access to their data. It's invaluable. You can see your search impressions on the search engines, your average ranking, exactly what the search engines are seeing as you crawl. Just can't emphasize enough. Go get those set up if you don't have them already.
So to get a breakdown of your link profile using the link categorization Excel, go to Open Site Explorer and input your URL. Go to the Linking Domains tab and export that. Open the link categorization sheet. Copy and paste what you've exported from Open Site Explorer into the OSE data book on the bottom. Click Refresh All in the Data tab in the Excel. Then go to the Dashboard book at the bottom, and you'll have a breakdown of all the links pointing to your site. Now this is an example of what is spit out when using the Open Site Explorer tool and the link categorization tool. All of these pie charts are a breakdown of different types of backlinks. How many links use a certain keyword as anchor text, how many links come from directories, forums, blog posts, edu links, article distribution sites, etc. It's pretty cool. The next thing to do is to take action. Actually start the process of cleaning up your link profile. We use the Google Webmaster's referral links, Open Site Explorer, and Majestic SEO to compile a list of all the links pointing to our client's site. We put them all in one Excel, and we color-coded links from each source so that it was easier to identify duplicates. When we're going through the list and we saw, the same link coming from all three sources, what we did is we saved the domain that had the most amount of backlinks pointing to our site because that was really the trouble one. So the next step is to delete all of the duplicates being reported between three sources. Then we use Open Site Explorer and the link categorization spreadsheet to see a breakdown of their anchor text distribution.
The reason you need to do it this way, you're getting data from 3 different link indices. So you're getting it from Google, you're getting it from Open Site Explorer, you're getting it from Majestic. And each of those have a different set of domains that they crawl and a different depth, how deep they crawl in each of those domains. So, if you have 3 instances of a domain linking to you from these 3 sources, the one that has the highest number of links represents the site that did the deepest crawl. So that's the one you want to pay attention to and why you want to pay attention to that one.
So go through the links in your spreadsheet and look for links that would violate the Google Webmaster Guidelines. Types of sites that Penguin attacked, like blog and content networks, over-optimized anchor text, boilerplate site-wide links, sites with little or no relevancy, and blog and comment spam. If you're the one that's going to be contacting each site, make sure that you create columns on your spreadsheet that allows you to record contact information, date of contact, person who contacted the site, and what happened when you contacted them. The Ali fan site that we were helping had a lot of links from non-relevant sites, a lot of blog and content network links, and heavy usage of keywords as exact anchor text.
When you're doing this, you want to kind of think Pareto's law, the whole 80-20. 20% of these sites, the bad sites linking to you, probably account for 80% of the negative impact. So you want to focus your effort on the big wins, on the lowest quality sites with the highest number of over-optimized links pointing into your site. You can't always contact every site owner, and it may be a relatively small percentage of those contacts that actually pan out. So you want to be really efficient and hit the low-hanging fruit.
So what are you looking for? The first thing you want to look for is blog content networks. And they're a group of sites that are usually owned by the same person. They have age domains and high page rank, makes them great places to get links from. The problem is that they house irrelevant content and were created solely for the purpose of pushing link juice to sites, which Google does not see as natural and as a healthy part of a link profile. These include networks like Build My Rank, Linkvana, SEO Nitro, and also include link wheels and farms. You can identify these blog networks by spotting sites with irrelevant and unrelated posts. They also use a lot of exact anchor text. The posts also usually don't read well, and the design of these sites are low quality and outdated.
BMR, one of these, Build My Rank, one of these blog networks, they got hit, I believe it was early April, and they were, knocked out of the park by Google. It was something like 90+% of their sites were totally de-indexed. And there's a lot of people who feel like Google's unnatural link warning that went out through Webmaster tools around that time was tied directly to this, that it was sent to people who had registered in Webmaster tools and whose websites were linked to from those Build My Rank sites. So if you saw one of those notices around that time, chances are pretty good you had some links coming in from one of these networks.
Google Penguin really went after over-optimization of anchor text, where a website's links all use the same exact match keyword anchor text. This can be a sign of paid links, as a typical webmaster would usually use the brand name, click here, or something less keyword-rich as a natural anchor text. The pie chart is the link profile for the Ali fan site that has been hit by Penguin. Each piece of the pie chart is one keyword used as anchor text. As you can see, there are really only 10 keywords used as anchor text, and 4 of those make up the majority of the pie. No one piece of the pie should be over 10% of the total anchor text distribution, and each piece should be pretty evenly distributed. To be safe, at least 60% of your total link profile should be made of brand terms, junk terms like click here, read more, learn more, or even just the URL of the site being linked to. Google sees boilerplate and site-wide links as unnatural, as a site would usually only link to the most relevant page or post and not to every page on the site. These types of links can be found in blog rows and footers. An easy way to find out which links are site-wide is by going to your Google Webmaster tools and seeing all the links coming to your site. If there are many links pointing to your site coming from a single domain, that's probably a site-wide or boilerplate link. Matt Cutts of Google's search quality team said at SMX Advanced 2012 that we've done a good job of ignoring boilerplate and site-wide links. In the last few months, we've been trying to make the point that not only is link buying like that not doing any good, we're turning the dial up to let people know that certain link spam techniques are a waste of money. So look for sites that are linked to you have no relevancy to the topic of your site. From search to PPC, Google revolves around relevance. Link building is no different. Sites that are linked to each other should have some sort of thematic relationship. Ask yourself, can I make a clear case of why this site will link to my site? Does this site relate to my site in any way? If it doesn't, it's a sign that it should probably be removed from your link profile. So in our example, why would this decor site naturally link to our Ali fan site? There's no relevance or connection there, so it probably isn't a good site to be linking to us.
It's also important to point out that the way Google identifies relevancy, they're going to crawl the page on the site that's linking to you. They're going to look at the title tag on that page, the content on that page, the content on that whole site, and then particularly the content that closely surrounds the link going to your site. And they're going to try and determine, how topically related is this page linking to you versus the content of the page being linked to. And that's going to, that plays a huge part of this. Since anchor text has been devalued, the topic of the page linking to you is more important than ever.
So blog comment spam links are an old SEO link building practice that Google is now cracking down on. Someone writes a blog post and then a spammer leaves a comment with a link to their site. It's not even relevant to the post because, that blog has allowed the links in the comment section to be followed. It's never been a link building practice that Google has pushed as a good one. And with Penguin, they're actually doing something about it.
And if you don't know what blog comment spam looks like, if you have a blog or if you've ever seen a comment that says something like, "Thank you so much for your great post. It was wonderful. I will definitely be back." And it's from a commenter named Best Nightstand or #1 door installer. That's total junk comments. You want to avoid doing stuff like that and delete those if you have them.
So cleaning up your existing link profile can be done with 3 steps. Delete your current spammy, paid, and over-optimized links, dilute your current link profile, and build natural organic links that won't cause your site to be susceptible to these types of updates. The first step to depenguinizing your site is deleting the bad links. Go through that macro list you created and delete anything that could be considered questionable. You'd rather be safe than sorry at this point. Don't worry, you'll be building fresh, organic links that will be more powerful than those low-quality links. Use a domain research site like whois.sc to find a site's contact information. Contact each site owner with a request to either remove the link from their site or to place a no-follow tag on that link. Build My Rank, as Sam mentioned earlier, was one of the link networks that was de-indexed by Google. They have an option to delete all links, which will automatically take down all the links to your site from their network. Now that you know that you have been over-optimizing your anchor text, it's time to dilute. There are two ways to do so. The first is build more links using branded or generic anchor text like the name of your company, click here, read more, learn more, etc. Webmasters or blog owners would typically use these type of anchor text, or very, very long anchor text strings like, check out this cool site that I found, or you guys have to see this, and link that to your site. The second option is really to contact the sites that are currently linking to you and ask them to just change the anchor text to your brand name, your website URL, or something more generic. The third step is to build links the right way, the way that Google wants you to build links that will not leave you vulnerable to future updates. A good way to ensure that you're building links the right way is to create amazing content. The key to link building has always been creating great content that other sites want to share with their visitors. You want to create content that you know people want to read about and will say to themselves, other people need to see this. There are many different ways to get content ideas, from digging deep into your analytics search queries to find long tail questions people use to enter your site, to using Quora or Yahoo Answers to see what searchers really want to know about your industry, to using Twitter to find out what questions people are asking or what people are talking about in real time. For example, I simply typed in Muhammad Ali into Yahoo Answers and a question came up: what is a list of the title matches Muhammad Ali has fought in? That right there is a great blog post topic. I could write that and I know at least one person out there wants to know the answer, if not more. I then just did a search in Twitter for Muhammad Ali and I found a lot of people posting quotes from Ali. So I could write a blog post about the top 10 Ali quotes and then post that to Twitter and send those directly to the people posting those quotes. I could even create a Muhammad Ali quote hashtag and start spreading it that way. Overall, search is all about queries and questions. Answer them with great content on your site.
What's that Ali quote? Fly like a penguin, sting like a panda?
Exactly. So another part of safe link building is to get social. Get social by sharing your great content on your social networks like Facebook, Twitter, Google+, LinkedIn. Although allow them to be interacted with and shared online. If you write a post with a topic you got from someone on Twitter, share it with them directly. Tell them that you just wrote a post that answers their question, send them the link. At the very least, this will help them get to know your business and build a relationship with a future visitor or customer. There have been several tests done to show the ranking effects of likes, shares, +1s, tweets, etc. Using only social media, sites are able to get pages ranked quickly. So there is power attributed to social media, although Matt Cutts recently stated in an interview that +1s aren't the best quality signal right now just because it's still in its early days. In our Ali example, I could create a Muhammad Ali meme or infographic and post those to my website and to social media sites and let people share them, tweet them, like them, and +1 it. This allows people to become aware of you and engage with your content. The next way to become penguin safe is to build links to deeper pages on your site. Tell webmasters to link to interior pages and relevant posts on your site that would be the best fit for them to link to. It's just not natural for every site to link to your homepage or one or two other pages on your site. Although this may not be the page you necessarily want ranked, it will do two things. The first is that it will strengthen your overall domain authority. And two, it will get a relevant page indexed and ranked, which will still attribute to visibility. The next step in solid link building is to simply be old-fashioned, to go offline and to be creative. Online marketing is still marketing. Be creative and reach people or writers who you would want to link to your site directly with something creative. If you want to get your website talked about, go and start a conversation with the person you want talking about your site. Grasshopper virtual phone systems sent chocolate-covered grasshoppers to tech writers to gain awareness, which eventually led to backlinks. Sending samples of your product is not necessarily buying links. You're gaining awareness, which will lead people to writing or posting about your site. Maybe my fan site sells Ali bobbleheads, or we have Ali bobbleheads in storage. I might just send some free ones out to boxing bloggers or boxers with blogs, Twitter profiles, Facebook fan pages, etc. Ask whoever I send those to talk about it publicly on their sites or their profiles. Or maybe my site sponsors a boxing match, and I get links from press sites, the boxing event site, etc. Simple, old-school methods of getting links that Google will always look favorably upon. Something conventional like this definitely works. Mix your offline strategy with your online strategy.
I think this is totally legit. Sharing a copy of something you have or something cool with people, influencers online, bloggers, etc. That's not buying a link directly or indirectly. You share what you have, and you don't necessarily ask them to link to you, but just say, hey, look, I have something awesome. I know this is relevant to you. Here you go. And if your product's great, and you send it to the right person, they're going to talk about it. They're almost certainly going to link to you. Also, a really good example of tying offline to online. I remember hearing a story, I think it was about Samsung, where the wording they used in their offline advertising directly impacted search habits, site traffic, and rankings. That wording, people started looking for it, and all of a sudden they were ranking well in a space that they created. They created their own traffic. Even better, you could use your offline marketing tactics to get people searching in this new way and be the first person there. Dominate a space before anybody even knows the space exists.
The final way to build strong links is to become a thought leader. Your site should be the hub of information for your industry. Visitors should trust your site so much that anything that you write will be shared to others online. Google seems to be favoring larger brands, and becoming a thought leader allows your site to become one. My fan site should be everything Ali. If anyone wants to know anything about him, they should know that my site is the trusted source and be linking to me and sharing my posts because of that. We all know that Ali was known for being bold and controversial. The press wanted to write about him and talk about him because he was such. Your site should act in the same way. Be bold, be funny, be engaging, be entertaining, and that will get you backlinks. Overall, your strategy should be building links for people with the aim to get links that will be clicked on your target market. This is the right way to link build, not for the search engines, but to build awareness of your business. Link building is a time-consuming process. It is definitely not as easy as it used to be. Google has always asked websites to build links this way. Now they're demanding it. The silver lining is that organic link building will help with visibility and awareness, not just on the SERPs, but across the internet. So the last thing that people want to know who've been hit is, can I recover? Google Penguin is a relatively new update, and rolling updates to Penguin will allow for some sites to recover naturally, as the algorithm will be enhanced to make up for any false positives. On the other hand, more sites will see a drop in rankings as Google takes stronger action against bad linking practices. Unfortunately, at SMX Advanced, Matt Cutt said that some sites should just start over. If you're hit by both Panda and Penguin, just give up, start a new site. It's not possible to recover if you're a spammy link owner or blog owner, and you should just start over following the correct practices. So one site that publicly reported a recovery from Penguin was WPMU.org, who had issues with site-wide footer links, and after cleaning up these issues, they were able to see a rebound in traffic. After creating a list of links pointing to our client site, they began going through the list and contacting site owners. We're reporting a positive response from most site owners, and about 15% of the sites on the list have already removed their link to the site. About 2 months in, we've seen almost all of our tracked keywords go up in rankings.
So really the short answer is yes, it is possible to recover. However, you really need to determine for yourself if the effort necessary to recover is greater than the effort needed to start over on a new domain. And in some cases, it's just better to drop the penguin-punked domain and start fresh on a new site. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but you need to make that decision, look at both sides, and figure out which way you want to go. But it is possible to recover.
So thank you for taking the time to watch our webinar and joining us. We really appreciate it. Now we'll open up for the question and answer portion.
Fantastic presentation, Tyler and Sam. So the first question comes from Craig, and it is, if you have links from a blog network, will you get a penalty or just drop in rank and traffic?
You could get both. So I've seen that Google only sends a notice in Webmaster Tools when they're planning on taking a manual action. And I've seen notices in Webmaster Tools that were directly related to links from a blog network. So you'll get both. You may get a penalty, and thankfully penalties usually have a time period. They expire automatically after 30, 60, or 90 days. And as long as you've fixed the problem, you won't get a re-up of that penalty. So, if you have links from blog networks like that, do your best to take them down, and you can just wait it out. At the same time, the value of those links is disappearing simultaneously. So you'll have to build new links. Even if the penalty goes away, you'll need new good links to make up that lost value.
Yeah, Sam is definitely right. So there's a two-prong attack. Is delete them and then build new links on top of that, or get rid of them and build for the future, because you don't want to be in a situation where you lose all your links, or you delete all your links, but you're not building new, better links that will survive any update in the future.
Okay, and we have several questions coming in about whether we'll be following up with this presentation, and the answer is yes. A little bit later this week, we will send out an email that'll have a link to the on-demand version as well as the deck. So, if you hopped in late, we have you covered, and we'll get those back to you by the end of the week. The next question is by Donna. It is, I find dozens of Russian sites that show up as linking to my site, often dating sites or search sites, all unrelated. I block them one by one, but it's difficult to fight them all. So I don't know what the question is here, guys, but any advice for Donna?
So like Sam was saying about the 80-20 thing, I mean, you want to start with the sites that are are harming you the most, and you can't do everything and about all these sites linking to you. I mean, it's just not possible, and a lot of sites aren't going to take your link down, but do what you can. If you have seen a penalty, and if you got a penalty warning from Google, the good thing is that all they want you to do is tell them that you're making an effort, tell them the steps that you went through, and then they'll reconsider your site.
And on the other side, apparently Google is considering a possible link disavow tool where you can say, hey, these links are coming to our site, we didn't create them and we don't want them, please ignore them. It doesn't exist yet, but there are a lot of hopes in the SEO industry that something like that will come out, and that might be a solution in the near future.
Yeah, I remember talking to Sam about this a while ago, and we thought it would be cool if anybody links to your site through Webmaster, you can choose to accept or reject that link, just as a way of filtering it, in that moment. And maybe with this link disavow tool, that's kind of a step in the right direction. Because hey, we can't control everyone that's linking to us. It's just not possible. And to stop that, this could be a solution.
Okay, next question comes from Keoki. How does having links from affiliates affect ranking, and even if they do not have great relevancy?
So first of all, you always want relevant links. And secondly, if that affiliate site has been hit, you'll see a drop from that as well. It's because it's a community, it's a network. So if one site that links to you is getting hit or is doing bad practices, you'll see an effect of that as well.
I'd say this one is, maybe hit or miss, because in general, an affiliate is probably going to put that affiliate link on a page that's topically relevant. I would hope so. If they're a smart affiliate, they want to have that link in an intelligent place. So it may not be a bad thing. But if you're afraid of that, you can always no-follow your affiliate links or request that your affiliates do that. this one I think is just really in your judgment. I haven't heard of any instances where having links from your affiliate program are causing problems, unless they're just massive numbers of links using rich keywords. But yeah, I'd say that one's up to you.
The next question comes from Lydia. When you talk about site-wide footer links, do you mean on your own site? Are you not supposed to include any links in your own footer?
No, you can have links in your footer. We mean pointing from another site back to your site. So what a lot of like web designers and web developers would do, and you've seen it all the time, you look on the bottom of your site and you said, this is powered by such and such SEO or created by such and such web design. Those are going over every page of your site pointing back to them. So they're getting a hit from that. So if you're doing that, if you're doing the same thing and you say, sponsored by such and such, and it's in every footer link on that other person's website, that's not good for you.
This is also a tactic that's been used a lot by like WordPress theme developers. They'll stash a link in there that they can control remotely and change the anchor text. It's also an issue with like blog roll links. If he adds you to their blog roll, that link appears on every page on their site, and those they aren't good links anymore. So if you have any of those, if they're in your control, take them down, and if they're not in your control, start contacting.
Next question comes from Jerry. If starting a fresh site, number of initial keywords we should start with to rank? Question. So how many keywords should you start with to try and rank if you're the number of initial keywords if you're starting a fresh site?
I mean, I don't think there's really a set number to that. That's up to you. How many keywords do you want to be ranking for? I mean, it could be 1 or it could be 1,000. I've also heard, I've heard some people say that if you're 301 redirecting from a penalized domain to a new domain, that because penalties are tied to a specific domain, it can go away in the transition. So you may not actually be starting out completely from scratch, but if you don't still try and either remove some of those bad links after that transition or build out a lot of new good links quickly, you could get hit again if an algorithm reruns. But essentially, target as many keywords as you feel like you need to go after for your site.
Okay, we're just going to take a couple more questions here, and then anything that we miss, we will follow up with you after the presentation. But the next one comes from Cheryl. Can you name the most harmful blog networks?
Oh yeah, like Build My Rank, Linkvana, SEO Nitro, all of those. I mean, you can Google blog network and you'll see all the worst ones. But Build My Rank is one that we know that has been devalued by Google or de-indexed by Google. But any blog network is not going to be great.
And blog networks are unfortunately a pretty common tactic, even with some SEO agencies. Like, it's just really easy to put up a lot of sites and fill it with content and link back to your clients. So, a blog network of any kind, even if it hasn't been hit yet, is a ticking time bomb. Google will get to it eventually. They're pretty good at spotting stuff like that, and they're kind of on the warpath when it comes to blog networks. So I would say no blog network is a good one, but if you specifically have used Build My Rank, you're probably in trouble. I mean, I'm sure you've seen a hit already if you were on there. Linkvana, I've heard Linkvana actually hasn't been hit yet, but again, their approach is similar to Build My Rank, so if you're using that, that's still probably a ticking time bomb. Just don't use any blog networks. It's a bad idea. That sort of quick win, it's not a good long-term approach.
And as Google keeps updating these algorithms, they're going to find better ways to associate sites with each other that are on the same blog network, whether it being, the same links on multiple sites or, IP addresses, all that kind of stuff. They'll dig deep, when the site was created, that kind of thing. So they'll find them out eventually.
Okay, these questions are great. Couple more. Aaron asks, if we haven't received any warning in Webmaster Tools, we've been hit, but see a drop in search traffic, can we assume we have been hit by the update?
Definitely. That would represent an algorithm update and not a manual penalty.
So the penalty will show up in your Google Webmaster Tools. An update, you won't hear about it. You'll see it in your ranking reports and your traffic data.
And this question comes from Tim. Are text links ads being seen as spammy tactic if they are relevant and add value to relevant sites?
I'd say that's another one like the affiliate links. So if they're relevant and they're still adding value, it fits with the content, maybe not. But the point is, and one of the huge things that Penguin went after was just anchor text. You know, for the first 12 or 14 years of Google's life, having lots of anchor text coming into your site was a good thing. It was a factor that they held in high value to determine the topic of a page. And that's now not the case. It's still okay to have a little bit of keyword-rich anchor text coming in, but it should be just a little bit. So, you know, if those text link ads are making up a good chunk of your link profile, then it's probably a bad idea, regardless of how topically relevant the site that it's on is.
Exactly. So the key is to now dilute and to, you know, use more generic terms. You know, if you look at the link categorization tool and you use that and you see that, you know, four pieces of the pie are coming from 4 keywords, that's a large piece. So you want to be able to have at least, you know, each piece of that pie should only be about 10% and evenly distributed. It should be very small. It shouldn't look like you're only using these main keywords to build links to.
Okay, last question. This question is from Lydia. If a very related site is sending tons of links on the same keyword, is that bad? Obviously, you want them to diversify links and anchor text, but that's hard to do. Should you ask them to link from just one page?
So I would say yes. I would say linking from one page is great. Try and get the link from the home page if you can. But I mean, the way Google looks at links is like a system of endorsements. You know, I don't know you really well, but I like what you have, and I'm saying it's awesome. But you know, if one person says how awesome someone is 100 times, it just kind of gets old. You don't need it. You need to hear it once or twice, but not 100 times. So Google will automatically devalue. You know, if you have 100 links coming from one domain, Google will probably not pass value from all of those links. They'll pick a couple and pass the value. But it's better to have it used once or twice than 100 times, if that's within your control.
Okay, great. Everyone, thank you for attending our webinar today. We're going to follow up later this week with a copy of the presentation as well as the on-demand version of it as well. And we hope that you'll attend future webinars. Thanks.